Hi. If you've been watching the news, I apologize if the light is not real good here. If you've been watching the news, you know they're talking about a global food shortage. They're talking about inflation going up, um, gas skyrocketing, utility bills going up. But the one concern I have is actually the food shortage. Now, I did go to the store a couple days ago, and I always take a list with me so I can get what's on my list. Um, when I got home, the first thing I did was check everything off the list that I didn't get because they didn't have. So we already see some type of food shortage. Now, every news network out there, from CNN to MSNBC to even the most liberal, which is those stations, is talking about this global food shortage that's supposed to happen. They're also talking about this summer, they expect brownouts and rolling blackouts. Especially in California, they have them every year because, well, they're idiots and vote Democrat, and the Democrat policies are what did this. But they're talking about a massive, huge blackout that'll probably happen this year during this summer. That'll go clear from California to Arizona and possibly other places. Now, how can you get prepared if you're low income? It's really hard to do. Now, in my last video, I believe I talked about my girlfriend, and she went in the hospital. The state of Montana is eating the actual hospital stay bill itself for the room. That we appreciate. But she has got two bills in. One was for the ER, I believe it was $1,500 something. And she got in the doctor bill. Now, here's the thing that gets me. This doctor, in 3.5 days, came and saw her one time for 10 minutes. And his bill alone is around $1,700 for a 10-minute doctor consultation one time in 3.5 days. Oh, she opened that. She was really pissed. But I'm not going to talk about that because we all know how things are going now. Now, I did watch a video earlier today that really upset me. This was at a AOC town hall type meeting. A woman there was wearing a shirt that said, "Save the climate, save the planet, eat the children." Of all things. And she even talked about eating babies. I mean, that's you don't eat babies, okay? If worse comes to worse, and there is a massive food shortage, you eat the Democrats, the grown Democrats, because that's the ones that did this. You don't eat the babies, okay? Now, I'm making this video for low income. If you have been watching what's going on, and you're worried about, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive if, one, there's a global food shortage, and two, massive blackouts, rolling brownouts everywhere because our power grid gets just overused? Well, what little food you're going to have is going to go bad. So, I came up with a solution for low income. Now, it's not going to be the easiest solution, and there may be some disagreements, arguments along the way, but remember, what you need is other people. I'm going to explain this. You need a network of people. Now, if you know one person that owns a home, has some property, or even if they're renting, if they have a storage shed out back and a yard, if they are in an apartment facing south and they're on the 3rd floor or higher, you can do this. Start setting up your network of people now. Alright? And here's what you need to do. Find one person, one, that is willing to let you set up a home base for your entire network at their home or their apartment. And you're going, okay, how is this going to help? I do apologize. I am making ice. You tell that person, okay, look, I've been watching what's going on. I'm sure a lot of other people are watching this. Here's my idea. Here's what I want to do. I want to get as many people as possible, 4, 5, 6 families, to chip in on some type of chest freezer, unless we find somebody that already has one, and a solar set. Right now, you can still find 400 watts of solar with a charger controller, the solar panels, and the cables for under $450. That is not going to last long. And is the exact same sets that my last solar sets are. What you need, enough people to kick in, even if it's a little bit of money. Enough money to buy that solar set. If somebody already has a chest freezer, the better. If you can move it from their place, if the power goes out, if you have enough people to move it from their place to the one place where your solar set is going, then you're covered. If not, you need a chest freezer, enough solar to run it, and you need enough people to help. Now, I've been paying attention. Even the food banks are talking about they're running short on food. Now, a lot of farmers do give fresh produce for food banks, but in the middle of summer, when it's the hottest, that is going to go bad really quick. So you need somewhere cool or cold to store it. Now the key is, the trick is, no matter how many people, how many families you have, each one of those families sends out one person to get food. At least one. Maybe more. Alright, say you don't have any kids or family, or you do have a family but you don't have any money to kick in. You talk to these people and you go, okay, look, I don't have any money to kick in to put against this, but what I can do is when you bring in food, I can prep it, I can cook it, I can put it in the freezer. I can watch your children for you while you're out getting food and water. There are ways that you can involve yourself in this network, in this group, where you don't have to put money in. You need enough people, though, to kick in enough to buy a solar set large enough to run a chest freezer. You need one place to put it. One person that has a house with a yard, or a house with a storage shed in the back where you can place that chest freezer. If you know somebody with a gun, even better. You need them in your group, because if other people find out you have food and solar, they're going to come for it. They are talking about a global food shortage. So, if you're low income, and everybody you know is pretty much low income, each family needs to kick in just a little bit. You're not getting hit with this huge bill for your solar and a chest freezer or whatever else. Kick in as much as you can. Get as many families involved with your network. Do that now. You need enough solar to run a chest freezer. You need somebody that can hunt. Um, Somebody that can protect your freezer and your food. All it takes is one person to say, yeah, I got a house or a storage shed. We can stick it in there. I got a yard. We can set up some solar in my yard so if something happens. And their cut will be, you will supply food for them and their family when things get tough. Now you're going, if there's a global food shortage, how we gonna get food? Okay. There are countries where they eat dog, horses, of course cows, birds, ducks, squirrels. They're in an emergency situation. There is food all around you. And you may turn your nose up to it, but think about other countries that eat this on a regular basis. I'm not thrilled about eating frog legs, but it's a delicacy in some countries. The more people you have going out, spreading out, and hunting, catching animals, and bringing them back to slaughter so you and your family can eat, the better. People going out and getting water and bringing water back, especially in a huge blackout that covers several states. A huge global food shortage is going to affect you. You know, like I said, I was watching this video of this just whacked out woman at an AOC thing, and she's whacked out too, but talking about eating babies. If you don't think stuff like that won't happen, if people are starving, you need to think again. But since it was the Democrats that did this, 99% of it, make sure the person you eat is a Democrat. Don't eat the babies. If it comes to that, people will eat other people. But I would prefer not to. But you can find dogs, like I said, don't eat cats. Because I like kitties. But, hey, you know, there are countries where they eat cats. Deer, bears, moose, whatever. Snakes. With the more people looking for food, bringing food back, and the more people you have in your community and your network, the better your food is going to be protected, the better you're going to be protected, and the cheaper it's going to be on you, because you won't have to kick out all this money by yourself to get solar, chest freezer, and the batteries and the inverter. Sorry about that. I am making ice for my girlfriend. Start now. Absolutely. Start your network now. If you have a relative, if you have a friend that owns a house or an apartment facing south, and they're, you know, call them and say, look, I've been watching the news. I see what's going on. They're talking about food shortages all, you know, next year, the year after. They're talking about blackouts, brownouts. You know, I want to come up, you know, I want to have a way to store food. You know, you're going to want a way to eat. And I know all these other people that are low income that can help. If we buy the stuff or provide the stuff, can we set it up at your house, your apartment, whatever, in your storage shed? In a situation like that, I don't advise any generator. Generators are generally really loud, and I do not advise at all one of those power stations, those solar power generators. And I was actually watching a video not that long ago. Really pissed me off. A woman got hers for free. I mean, literally, they sent it to her for free. And her entire video was nothing but a sales pitch. She's showing her chest freezer, much like my chest freezer, running off one of these. Oh, look, it has 30 hours. Now, granted, her chest freezer was completely froze and completely stocked. And when she plugged it in, the compressor didn't kick on once. Those have to be charged. So if you want one of those, hey, fine. But usually the power station, the cables, and a way to charge them, the solar, is also separately. So if you want one of those, they're expensive, but go for it. Low-income people are going to look for the cheapest way possible. Right now, you can get 400 watts of solar with a charging controller and the cables for less than $450. You could get a couple dual-cycle marine batteries, and you don't have to leave your chest freezer running all night long. You only need to have it on a couple times at night to keep it froze. And then run it full time there during the day. So, get some people on your side. Get a network going and start it now. Talk to people now. Don't wait till the food shortage hits. Don't wait till they have massive blackouts all over the country. Because by then it may be too late. Like I said, you need a community and you need a network of people. The more people you have that's willing to chip in $40, $50, $60, the faster you're going to be able to do this. And like I said, even if you can't chip in anything, you know someone, they can't chip in anything. Hey, if we're having to go out and watch, get food, get water, can you stay here and watch the kids? If we get in clean water and get water, can you wash the clothes in the bathtub or in the shower in a bucket for everybody while we're out gathering food and water? If there's answers no, I'm not going to do anything like most liberals are nowadays, pass. If they say yes and it comes down to it and they don't do anything and they haven't contributed, alright, pass, go, leave, don't come back. That's the way it's going to have to work. And if it happens to where it gets that bad, if somebody catches a dog and brings a dog in, if you're hungry, you will eat that dog. Try to find somebody that has some type of garden or has some gardening skills, if possible, because eating the same thing over and over again is going to really get to you. The more people helping you, the better you're off. The more people you have in your network and your group, the cheaper it's going to be for everyone in that group. The more people you have, the easier it is going to be to go out and get food, bring food back, bring water back. You need that network of people. If you're low income, you need that. Because if things get worse, and when even CNN is talking about a global food shortage, and the White House is talking about it, you know it's going to get really, really bad. You need a way to store your food. You need a place to store your food. You need a way to keep your food frozen or cold so it doesn't go bad. You need people to go out and get water. You need people to go out and collect food and bring food back. You need people for security to protect your food. You need people there that are willing to watch the kids of everybody that's in your community so they can go out, spread out, and find food and bring it back. I have seen so many of these videos on these preppers talking about, you go out and buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. If you have the money for it, that's fine. But how many of these rich pricks actually have solar panels? How many of them drive electric cars? Not many. And how many of them have to worry about a food shortage? None. If you got money, you can get stuff delivered to your door. Doesn't matter how bad it gets. If you're low income, start talking to people now. Look, we all need to get together, kick in as much as possible to get this, so if something really bad happens, and it looks like it could, then we have it. But always have people in your group you trust. Ice maker. If you don't trust that person, don't do this with them. Have it in writing. If, say, the person's house that you're using sells their house, the chest freezer and solar belongs to your group, not to them. Make sure that's in writing. Always deal with people you trust. Don't just pick somebody off the street. You don't know them. If you're low income, you better start preparing now, because food banks are running out of food. They're having a hard time. And that's before this huge global food shortage that they keep talking about is going to hit us next year. Get your network going, get your people going, and get your group bonded. Get as much money as you can and say, look, I can throw in $5 this week, maybe $10 next week. How much can you throw in? If you get enough people in there, in that group, throwing in enough money, you can buy the solar. You can buy the chest freezer if you need to. You can buy the batteries. You can buy the power inverter. And all you need is a place to put it. And if you have that many people in your group, you have protection. Your food has protection. You have people that can go out and get the food. Even if it's hunting, even if whatever happens, make sure if you have to eat somebody, eat a Democrat. Don't eat the babies. Like this nutso woman was talking about at an AOC thing. And AOC's nuts too. And you're probably going, you're talking about eating other people. If it comes down to it, they will kill you and take what you have. And if it came down to it, they would eat you. That's a fact of life. If there's no food anywhere to be found, you are now food. Now, I prefer you don't eat anyone else, But if you have to, make sure they're a Democrat. Because their voting, the way they voted, got us in this situation. But get people in your group you trust. Now, there will be disagreements. There will be fights over this and this. You have to understand that up front. The more people you have, the more disagreements you're going to have. Every person in your group and your network should be responsible for something to help out that group. Whether it's going out gathering food, gathering water, washing people's clothes, heating water for makeshift showers, cooking, skinning a deer, or packing it up to go in the chest freezer. Whatever it is, every person in your group should have an assignment. And they need to understand this before they join this group of yours, before they join your network. Because your entire group is going to rely on people working together. You have your gatherers, you have your hunters, you have your water gatherers, you have people that are out there. If something happens, you need security. Because think about it. If times get that bad, how many people now do you see just breaking into stores and walking out? And the police do nothing because Democrat politicians and liberal activists. You think the cops are going to come to save you if somebody's trying to steal your stuff when there's been a blackout for 3 weeks? It's not going to happen. You think the government's going to protect you or provide security for your food and for your well-being? It's not going to happen. I apologize, this video is long. But low-income people, listen to me right now. Get your group together. Get your network together. If you have friends, family, talk with them. Say, look, we see what's going on. You can watch the news. They're talking about blackouts from California clear down to Arizona during the summer. There's no telling how long the power could be out. And then they're talking about brownouts in other places, possibly, like New York. They're talking about a global food shortage. If we all, I want to bring these people in, if we all can get the money up and buy a chest freezer, solar, enough solar to run the chest freezer, and maybe charge something like a phone, or maybe run a light, or maybe charge a radio or something, or a laptop or something so the kids have something to do. Can we rely on you to use your space, your property, your yard, your shed? Get your network going now. Get your group formed now. Just make sure it's people you can trust. Because a lot of people that you think you know in a bad situation will turn on you. Make sure everyone you talk to bring into that group kicks in what they can, how much they can, and can do one assigned thing to help the entire group. If you got a lazy ass millennial, throw the ass out of the group. I don't care who they're related to. I don't care if it's the child or your best friend. If that kid is doing absolutely nothing, that millennial, that teenager, that 22-year-old is doing nothing to help the group, and all they're doing is taking, get rid of them. I know it's a long video. And I'm making this video specifically for low income families. The more people you have, the more money you can bring in, the easier it's going to be for you to do this. But the more people you have, the more you'll have to feed, get water for, the more children you'll have to watch. So don't bring in 100 people. You're never going to feed 100 people. Bring in just enough to cover the cost of what you need to survive, to keep your food good. And start talking to people now. You may find somebody that goes, hey, yeah, I got a job. I can put back, I don't know, 20 bucks a week to go towards this. Think about it. Even if you don't have money to kick in, if you can do other things, cook, clean, do laundry, to help out, then offer your services. Now, I don't mean that in a bad way, but if you're a really pretty girl or woman with big boobs, yeah, you can offer your services all day long, and trust me, there'll be billions of guys out there that are willing to support you, even during this. But understand, nothing in life is free. Somebody always pays. And if you're not willing to help in a situation or do anything to help in a bad situation, then people are not going to want you there. Get your group or your network going now. Find the house, the apartment, wherever you're going to set up all this stuff at. Make sure everybody's on board. Put it in writing. Absolute writing. Alright, this person contributed this much, this much, this much, this much. This person has a gun. This person has a bow and arrow set. This person, has a car or a truck, and they can haul water from like a river or a lake, as long as that vehicle's running. Think about what you got to do, and think about who you have to bring in. And believe it or not, in a situation like this, the most punk-ass thugs out there are probably some of the best people to have, because most of them have guns. And most of them are not real shy about having to kill somebody else. But can you trust them? Probably not. But would it be a good idea to have somebody that is willing to kill for you in a situation? Absolutely. If you don't have the balls to do it yourself, to even protect yourself, you better have somebody there that's willing to take down somebody. Like I said, can you trust them? Probably not. But as long as they're getting something out of it, they'll probably help you. Alright, I'm fixing to go. This video is very long. But once again, watch the news. It doesn't matter if it's CNN, MSNBC, Fox. They're talking about blackouts, brownouts, clear from California to Arizona and other places this summer when it's going to be really super hot. And they're talking about all this other stuff, the global food shortages that they say will happen. Protect yourself by getting a community together now and raising the money now to get what you need to get to be able to store your food. Have people there that are willing to work with you. And don't be fooled into buying one of these big ass solar power stations unless you have the money and a way to charge it. Alright, that's it. I'm fixing to go. Everyone have a good one. Everyone stay safe. And hopefully, well, hopefully the Democrats are out in 2022. But if you go by AOC supporter whack jobs, eat the babies or eat the children. No, I'd rather eat a full-grown Democrat. And if worse comes to worse, yeah, Democrats will be first on the menu. Alright, that's it. I'm Fixing Go. Everyone have a good one. Bye.